What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Looks like we got more matches from the ARG 20K. This is Sehabi. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that last name. I don't want to butcher it and offend anybody. Versus Jeff Jones. Bujin versus Mermail. And Jeff went first. He opened up with Yamato off of Tenki. He dumped Hair into the graveyard. Then he Sehabi summoned Undyne. He tried to pop the back row. Jeff activated Phoenix Chain on Undyne, so he couldn't get a controller. He set one. Looks like Jeff summoned Turtle. Just went ahead and attacked. And play is now on Jeff Jones. If I'm Jeff, I think he's making the right play. Against Mermail, I do not fear their back row at all. So I'm definitely going to make this on a low. If you have Solemn Warning, good for you. Okay, well, he did have Solemn Warning. I mean, I'm not going to fault Jeff because I would have made that same play. Jeff is going to set one. Now, me personally, I believe that this is a match in Bujin's favor. The life points are screwed up because there's no way that he's still at 8,000 life points. He just took a shot from Yamato on Undyne, and then he took a direct shot to the face. These ARG guys are fucking up. But anyways, I believe that, oh yeah, he just played Warning too, so that's another 2,000 life points. So he took 17 plus 2,000 from Warning, plus Undyne's attack is 1,200, Yamato's at 19, so 700 more. I like how they're just getting the Warning now, and they're just like, yeah, that's all he took. All he took was Warning. He hasn't taken any attacks or anything like that. Anyways, I played this match dozens of times. I feel like it is heavily in Bujin's favor. Now, personally, I'd go second in this match. The only card that scares me with Mermail players is potentially like them having the Abyss Spear turn 1. But once you side in Maxes, you really don't have to worry about that. So he just sets a monster. Now, Jeff is obviously looking to get his Bujin Carnation that he has in his hand live. All he needs is a Beast Warrior, and it's instantly live. He can just banish a Hair or something like that. He has Turtle. He's just going to pass turn. He obviously doesn't have what he needs. He has the one face down. I think it's a Mystical Space Typhoon, but I'm not 100% sure. The life points are still incorrect because I'm fairly certain that Jeff attacked with Turtle directly. Now, I feel like this play of passing back and forth, it favors Jeff Jones. Because once he gets his Beast Warrior, especially if it happens to be Yamato, Jeff's at huge advantage. Not only does he have 2 layers of protection with Turtle and Hair, but then he has Carnation, to back him up for whatever goes wrong. You know what I mean? Like the Mind Control, that's not a life card in Sehabi's hand. He'll just turtle it. The Soul Charge will only do so much. Like he'll have to go to like runner, and if he Soul Charges, he won't be able to attack. You know what I mean? Jeff will have the Bujin Carnation to bail him out at any given time. So there are certain cards that just aren't going to do a lot. You may see an end phase MST. Okay, no. Again, I'm not 100% sure that it is MST. Alright, Crane, Mikazuki, Chalice, you take Mikazuki. Jeff wants his cards to be live. He wants Carnation live over anything. Now, I'm not certain that Jeff will attack here, but he will definitely summon the Mikazuki. I wouldn't be shocked if he attacked. I'd only attack if maybe I had like Vanny's Emptiness. I would attack, and if you had no response on Declaration, I would consider activating Emptiness. You see Jeff Jones just passes. Obviously, again, he wants to make sure, if nothing else, that he gets his Turtle or he gets his Hair removed. Okay, so that's Dragoons. Wow. He bluffed them out. He had him thinking, he has him on Till. He had him thinking that it was Lindy. Now, obviously, he'll have to exceed if he wants to do any big damage with that Dragoons. Otherwise, I mean, I really don't know what Dragoons is going to really do. It can't beat over Mikazuki, obviously. But that was a good play by Sehabi. And if it sounds like I'm chewing on something, it's because I am actually trying to eat right now. They happen to throw up this feature in the middle of kind of doing nothing. So Sehabi might go for Soul Charge first and just neglect the Mind Control. Okay, so he plays Soul Charge. They have his life points at 36,000. Alright. I'm going to assume that that's accurate. So he goes for Genix, Undyne, and Marksman, putting him at 16,000. Now this is again where I call this the, well, he's past the danger zone. The danger zone is anytime you hit about 5,000 life points, basically Bujins can KO you with one card. That's Bujin Carnation. So he goes for Engineer. Now everything else that Sehabi summons is going to be in defense mode. I love when you're in this position with Bujins. Everything your opponent summons literally has to be in defense mode. Now Engineer I think is light, so it's not like he can activate Marksman's effect. But this is good because everything that Sehabi summons has to be in defense. Now I expect Jeff Jones to probably use Turtle to negate. Okay, so not only does he get a +1 there, but he also makes Bujin Carnation alive, which again is a win condition. And I mean he'll have to commit his normal summon, I would assume. But he could have like Spear set or something like that. Who knows? I do kind of feel like Jeff Jones has an MST, and I feel like he's waiting for the Spear. Okay, so he lets Jeff just keep both monsters, and now we see Quillen, and I think we're going to see double attacks here, and then a Susono in main phase 2, probably. Never mind, bottomless trap hole. That's my okay. And that was good for Sehabi because, you know, bottomless wasn't really going to be live against any of the Beast Warrior monsters, so at least he got a 1-for-1, assuming that Jeff doesn't have Lance, which it looks like he's opting not to use, if he does have it, or Wiretap. I think he does play Wiretap, actually, also. And I mean, I'd expect at least one attack from Jeff Jones. Unless he has something like Harume, but he would have to banish his hair to summon it. I'm not sure he wants to do that. I don't really think that Engineer is much of a threat. I think the only threat on Sehabi's field is the Dragoons. And that's simply because if he makes Bahamut Shark, he can go plus like 1 billion with that. Alright, so what are you going to do, Jeff? Jeff seems to be looking at his extra deck a lot, making me think that he wants to exceed. He has Dark Hole, but Dark Hole is no good. He has Bujin Carnation. Super good card. It's just not live right this second. Okay, looks like he's just going to go into battle phase and he's going to try and swing. Presumably over Dragoons. I mean, look, at some point in this duel, if Sehabi wants to win, he'll have to put something in attack mode. And it's hard to KO people at 8,000 life points when they've got back row. Especially when it's not like Sehabi's sitting on tons of cards. I don't think Jeff needs to rush his play. I don't think that he needs to overextend. I don't think he should be in any hurry to use his Carnation. I wouldn't Dark Hole. As long as I have at least one reactive trap, I would not Dark Hole. I want Dark Hole as a counter card. I'm not going to use Carnation unless I know I can win that turn. He doesn't have to rush here. Okay, so he activates. Ooh, Fiendish Chain on Engineer. That's a legit play. But what I don't think that Jeff had to do was, Jeff didn't have to rush into any plays where he Dark Holes and has to use his hair incarnate. Like, he doesn't have to do any of that. All he had to do was just a simple, what he did. A simple attack. His opponent took 200 damage there. He has an Engineer on field that isn't particularly useful, and he still has his ace card in the hole. He still has Carnation. That's all. That's what it's about. With Bujins, when you're playing against Mermail, you want to, first off, you want to get a couple of layers of protection. Turtle is generally more important than hair in the Bujin or in the Mermail match. And then all you really want to do is just keep 1 or 2 monsters on field. Like, this matchup is it's not even as hard as Infernity because Mermail play at a slower pace. Don't want to overload with traps, reactive traps. Battle phase traps are obviously not really good against Mermail. But for the most part, once you have your protection on board, you can you grind them down. Mermail cannot grind like Bujins. You know, this is not Geargic. Geargic is a deck that can grind with Bujins. Mermail is a deck that can never grind with Bujins. It's just not going to happen. And then, of course, anytime you get them under 4,000 life points, you know, a card like Bujin Carnation becomes a KO, basically. Alright, you see Kaiser Coliseum. I think he might swing at the back row now. I mean, at the face down, because if that's Lindy, you can't summon. Oh, it's Gundy. Okay, well, he can't summon. Now, it looks like Jeff is basically going pure lockdown, and he's saying that you're not going to be able to extend your field. Alright, so he swings over Engineer. Phoenix Chain goes bye-bye. Engineer does too. Now, it's going to be kind of difficult for Sehabi to come back here because not only can he only have one monster on board, but this pretty much taps him out from any, or it pretty much locks him out of any X he plays. If he plays Abyss Squall, that's no longer an option. His big monsters like, you know, Megalo, Abystheus, Lead, you can't, you know, you can summon them, but then you can't summon other guys. So it's like really just a bad position. Not to mention that at any time, if Jeff loses this field, and it's fucking really hard to try and OTK somebody with Kaiser Coliseum on board, you just know that he's going to fire back using Bujin Carnation. And Sehabi has already committed his Solemn Warning. So you see another Tinky come down. I wouldn't be shocked if he got another Mikazuki. Just because if his first Mikazuki on board dies, then he can summon something. Okay, no, he gets Harume. Jeff seems to be examining his graveyard. I guess he's going to banish Susono. Nope, Yamato, sorry. Okay, I think Jeff might be trying to go for game here. He's thinking, you know, if that's now Lindy, I can probably win this turn. I can attack with Harume on the face down, and then I can attack directly. And I just say that in case, what if it's a fossil dino? You never know. You know what I mean? Nope. Looks like he's going to overlay. Again, he has Carnation in case he falls into... Oh, never mind. Heartland Draco. I guess you just clear him out right now. Just go for it. So, we could see a Torrential here, something like that. Bottomless, obviously. No, he already bottomless. Okay, there's Torrential Tribute. The crazy thing is, if he lanced, he'd still have exactly 1,400 to attack directly. No, I'm sorry, he'll go to 1,200. Math fell. Nope, wouldn't be worth it. Okay. Again, he could have a lance set, or he could have wiretap set. If he had wiretap, I'd guess that he would have already burnt it though. So Jeff's sitting on another Kaiser Coliseum. That's one of the reasons why I don't like Kaiser Coliseum. You draw multiples, and it's just like, oh Lord, what am I doing with this card? And then just, you know, fire an Ice Hand, just ugh. Now, as long as he can use either one of those cards that he has set, he'll still be able to activate his Carnation. Okay, so he opts to use Solemn Warning on Lindy. Which is a little surprising. I thought that maybe he'd follow up with Bujin Carnation. Oh, Moulin Glacier. Does he have exactly 5? Wow. Oh, Torrential Tribute on Moulin Glacier. Okay, and he's going to actually be able to hit Jeff Jones's hand. Now again, I thought that Jeff misplayed on the Solemn Warning. I think that he should have played Bujin Carnation right then and there, and I think he should have tried to KO him. He loses Darkhold. And Kaiser Coliseum. So he still has Bujin Carnation. So I mean, Jeff basically got his he still has his ace card. I just think that I don't think he should play as risky as he's playing right now. And again, I only call that risky because of when his opponent torrentialed him on the Lindy, I would have immediately been like, that's fine, and then I would have been like, Bujin Carnation? I'd have been like, attack. I mean, if you get Megalo, that's fine, because then I'm going to go for Susanoo. And if my Susanoo gets Black Horned or something like that, then I'm going to Dark Hole you. Okay, so it looks like he's going to summon Tidal, and he's going to attack Jeff directly. He passes back to Jeff Jones. Bujin card. Did he draw another Bujin Carnation? I believe the card that he still has set is a Bujin Carnation. The card that is turned horizontally, I believe that is another Bujin Carnation. So he's going to go for Quillin and Harumi. At this point, all he has to do is make Susanoo and detach Quillin Pop, the title, and then you just attack. But you get Crane just in case. Crane is your backup. If for some reason it doesn't work, then what's it called? Actually, no, you don't need Crane. You get Yamato. That's my mistake, because if for some reason your Susanoo dies, you still can get Yamato. You can summon it. Your opponent's under Kaiser Coliseum. You can dump Seiryu into the graveyard. You're still golden. I just don't really see that many outs here. Like, even a Fiendish Chain doesn't stop Jeff. Okay, so he opts to use Breakthrough Skill. All he has to do is just Quell and attack, though. And Sehabi scoops him up. And I wanted to... So Sehabi's going to take second. He opens up with Pike, discarding lead. Anytime my opponent does that, I know that they don't have the greatest hand. If I had like a Veiler, I'd immediately burn it. Now again, I think that this is Bujin's. I think that this might be Bujin's best matchup, especially if you side Vanny's Emptiness. I just don't think that Mermail. I don't think that they can beat you. I really don't. I feel like once the Bujin player gets Yamato, I feel like Mermail has probably about a turn and a half to counter. After that, I think you just lose. He just goes Turtle and attacks. Like, even right now, if he set a Vanny's Emptiness, he'd be in such a good position. And what I like about this matchup for Bujin's is even the crappy monsters, like how he summoned the Turtle, like even those monsters are good in this matchup for just attacking. I mean, that's a card that you'd never want against like Evil Swarm. You'd never want to have to do that play against Evil Swarm or against Sylvans or Infernity, but against Mermail, considering Undying is a weenie, Pike is a weenie, and those are cards that they generally summon turn one. It's like, I'm in good shape. So if you don't have Spear, I feel great. You know what I mean? Now, Jeff has 2 back row. Obviously, he knows that a Genic Undying is probably coming his way sometime soon. Probably this turn, because he just searched it. But again, Jeff has, I mean, he's sitting on technically more cards. Well, it'll be about even. We see an immediate Solemn Warning, which I think was the right play. Now, if Jeff has anything, he's instantly going to get to Susanoo. I don't care if it's Crane. You basically summon any monster. Alright, so he goes for Teus. He's going to Maxi him. That's smart. Maxi and Warning. Jeff basically came prepared. So Jeff drew his 1 card. And he's going to summon, I believe that's Lead. Alright, now honestly, if he can get to Abyss Gaios, it changes. Because, well, no, I would actually say Lead is one of the better cards here. Because Lead can take a card out of your hand and still attack through. So that changes things. Unless Jeff has like Honest. If he has like Honest, then just forget about it. Never mind, Book of Moon. So Sehabi seems content on crashing. I believe he just passed turn back to Jeff. Oh, I was actually just going to say Jeff needs a Beast Warrior. Here's where I think the game becomes almost out of reach for Mermail. I believe Sehabi has 3 cards, and he searched a Pike. Jeff is obviously going to get Yamato. He already has 1 layer of protection with the turtle. Oh, no, whoa. He got Harumi? Maybe he drew Yamato. Oh, okay, I see. He wanted to use the hair, or he wanted to use the turtle in his hand. So I guess he's going to exceed into Susanoo. And I wonder what he's going to search. I saw a crane in his hand, so I think I'd probably go for Mikazuki. I like to get cards that I can use during my turn, or during my opponent's turn when I search Mikazuki. Unless I plan, I mean, when it's in main phase too, like he's doing right now. So personally, I would get Mikazuki. Nope, he's going to dump Hair. That's fine. He knows that he has Crane in his hand. He still has a turtle and a Hare in the graveyard and Crane. So, I mean, it starts becoming, you can't 1-for-1 Bujin. You can't exchange your cards in your hand for their monsters in the graveyard. It does not work that way. You know what I mean? You can't use mind control and you get rid of your opponent's turtle and think that you established anything or that you did anything. You can't use Dark Hole, have them use Hair, because you're spending real resources and the Bujin player is not. Now, he obviously has Soul Charge, which is the Grand Equalizer. The problem with Soul Charge is, if you play Soul Charge, you are going into the danger zone. You're basically going into where Bujins can KO your ass at any given time. So you basically have to make this count. And Jeff has a turtle, which the turtle will be infinitely more important than the Hair will be. Now, it looks like he's going potentially for 4. The problem is here, once again, if your opponent has a Carnation, I mean, Draco Sack with tokens doesn't save you like it would against other decks, because Susanoo can clear an entire board out. He's going for 5. He's going for everybody. I mean, you basically have to make a field of, you have to make an uncrackable field, and you have to make sure that none of your monsters are left in a position to where Honest or Crane can kill you. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, I wouldn't fear Cowboy or Sailboat. I would fear Susanoo. So this will be the determining factor. Looks like he's going rank 3 because I see Gundy and I believe that's Undyne for Engineer. That's fine. And he normal summons Pike. I think he might try and go for the 101 Big Eye play. Okay, that's what I think he's going to do. Okay, so he goes 101. Obviously wanting to get rid of one of Jeff's turtles. And then maybe he'd go for the Big Eye play afterwards. I mean, I see that being a legitimate play. Although, again, it loses to Bujin Carnation. He could go for Gaios instead of Big Eye. I would never, ever, ever. I would not recommend that in this situation, because if your opponent has Crane or Senryu, you will get fucked up so goddamn hard. Seriously, you will lose to that shit. Not to mention, you can't kill him anyway because he has a Hair, so it's not like you're gonna kill it this turn. I can't see what that spell is. I know that Jeff has Quillin and yeah, he has Quillin plus Crane in hand. Alright, so he negates. We see Xyz number 2. I think that's going to be Big Eye. And he does summon Big Eye. I'd summon it in defense mode. He brings it out in attack mode. He takes Susanoo. He puts it in defense mode. And again, if Jeff has Carnation, he wins. I believe he just drew Carnation. Yeah, that's game. All you have to do is make Susanoo and just, Crane. Again, you put yourself in this position when you play against Bujin. Unless he has emptiness or, okay, he has bottomless. That's legit. Now Jeff has to figure a way. Oh, I think he has a second Carnation too, but I don't think he has any Bujins in his graveyard. Now he can obviously set a monster. That was unfortunate that he got hit with bottomless. I know he would have rather got hit with a Black Horn of Heaven, because then he would have been able to activate the second Carnation. So he summons Quailin. He might be trying to bluff as if he has Honest. Or he might be trying to attack Big Eye. Maybe he's trying to bait out an engineer effect or something like that by bluffing as if he has Honest. And that's what he does. He puts Big Eye into defense mode. Now, I don't know Big Eye's defense off the top of my head. Jeff sets Bujin Carnation as a bluff, and that's probably what I would do also. It was... Okay, so he took 700, so it's 2,300, I guess? Oh my god, these people in the chat are so... One guy says Bujin Carnation is once per turn. No, it isn't. He doesn't have any Bujins in his graveyard. Bujin Carnation is definitely not once per turn. I have done that. I have done that tons of times. I've used 2 Carnations in a turn. So he's gonna Snatch Steal. What's it called? He's gonna Snatch Steal the Quailin. He puts everybody in attack mode, and he scoops them up. Okay, so game 3. It looks like Jeff took first. He dumped Hair into the graveyard, set 1. I don't know the rest of everything he has, but generally speaking, I like to dump Turtle in the graveyard. I found that Hair can be played around rather easily. Looks like he opens up with Allure of Darkness. That's Heavy Infantry Drew. He obviously has a controller he's going to banish. I think personally in this matchup, again, I have no problems taking second. I think I take second to get the extra card. You see a Bestius with a Dragoons pitched. And looks like that's fine. Okay, Jeff doesn't seem to have any responses. This is generally where Mermail can beat Bujins. If you can throw enough pressure on them turn 1 to crack Yamato, you can win. Outside of that, I think that Bujins have this match pretty much like they wreck it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's gonna get double searches, by the way. I believe Dragoons can search Moon Glacier. I'm not sure if he's still playing that, but either way, Dragoons is gonna get something nasty. I mean, he could probably get a Megalo. He'd get a search from Teus that would be able to search it. So we see a Phoenix Chain, which definitely would have did that. He gets a Megalo, and the problem is Jeff has to know that he's in bad shape now, because with that many cards in hand, he should assume that his opponent can get the Megalo on board. If he gets the Megalo on board, it's bad, because then your shit can get big-eyed. Now you see the Megalo come out, and he pitches Infantry. Jeff knows he's going to have to use Infantry on, or he's going to have to use the Hair to save Yamato, and from that point, Sehabi can either attack, or he can go Draco Sack, or he can go Big Eye, or he can go Gaios. All of the 3 can beat the Yamato. So it's a really bad position to be in for Jeff Jones. Now, it looked like Sehabi opened up with a really good hand. I can't say what the 6th card would have been to say that, you know, he wouldn't have opened up with the same really great hand going first, but I mean, personally, just from my testing, I go second because you need the extra card with Bujins. That extra card can be a Max C, or it can be, you know, like a DD Crow or something like that. It can be a debunk, a dark hole to get rid of an Agaios or something. I mean, if you get to Yamato, you kind of get 5.5 cards because you get hair. But overall, I don't know. Now, Hair and Turtle would have actually done the same thing in this situation. If he targets, you know, Yamato. Okay, so he opts not to use the Yamato, or not to use the Hair. I think that he realized if I use Hair, I'm going to get my shit big-eyed anyway, so, you know, why even bother? This way, at least Jeff can Soul Charge, and he could go Exciton Knight. Now, Sehabi gets himself a free Abyss Spear. Now, if I'm Sehabi, I'm not even thinking about this. I'm going to attack, and I am immediately going to make Abyss Gaios. Abyss Gaios is a really tough card for Bujins to deal with. It's much harder than Big Eye or Dracossack. Dracossack is nothing for Bujins because Susanoo can attack all the tokens at once, so it becomes really easy. Looks like he's going to exceed, and I think we're going to see Gaios. Okay, well, he has Dracossack on top, so I guess he's thinking about that guy. I'm personally taking Gaios because Gaios negates effects. He goes Dracossack. I guess he's going to attack and get himself some tokens. Okay, he summons it in defense mode. Oh, he must have Soul Charge. Oh, Moulin Glacier. Wow. He hits Yamato in hand, and I believe that was a Harume also. And Moulin Glacier attacks. And Jeff just lost a ton of cards. He needed those cards too. Especially Harume. You see Abyss Spear during the end phase, probably for Lindy. Okay, and I'm thinking maybe you get a lead from there. Yep, he gets lead. I mean, you get lead just because lead can close out the game in about 2 turns. And it's a bad situation for Jeff Jones right now. Alright, Quillen dies. And he eats 28 to the face. Now, if Jeff drew a Beast Warrior, it wouldn't be awful because he could pop the Moulin Glacier, and then you know, Sehabi wouldn't be able to attack next turn, so he could at least, you know, breathe for like a second. The problem is he's already burnt through 3 Beast Warriors. Tenki would be the nuts, obviously. Okay, so he summons Crane, and he just passes turn. He must be trying to at least appear to have an honest. Yeah, he must be trying to at least appear to have an honest. Now, if you're Sehabi, you don't want to attack with Moulin Glacier. You probably want to attack with lead. Simply because if Moulin Glacier dies, you lose your next battle phase, so that's no bueno. Sehabi's thinking here. He's thinking, what are the chances that this guy actually has honest? It's 1 card out of Jeff's entire deck. Is it worth the risk? Because if not, I can probably try and game him this turn. That's what he probably is thinking. Okay, so he's going to Soul Charge. So I think we might be seeing a Big Eye here. He's getting Dracossack. Dracossack obviously can just launch itself at Crane to make sure that the honest becomes a non-issue. He can also make him discard with the lead effect, so, I mean... Oh, Jeff plays Max C. Doesn't really seem like it's going to matter, though. He still can activate Lead's effect. And I think Jeff just got away with one. Okay, so he drew Debunk, Pitch. And right now, it looks like Jeff's only out right now is Soul Charge. He's smiling. I think he knows that he didn't get that Soul Charge that he wanted. He's looking at his life points. I don't think you can survive this one, buddy. Those two attacks from Moon Glacier and Lead should be able to end the game. This matchup is all about... It's all about Mermail overwhelming the Bujin player while they just have one layer of protection with Yamato. And you saw that that happened in this game. Jeff opened up with Yamato plus hair, and he got overwhelmed. Jeff scoops it up. Good game. And Sehabi will be moving on to the next round. Looks like Jeff top decked an Honest, and that Moon Glacier definitely put in some work. So, thank you guys for watching as always. Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. In front of you, mirror match. Nobody. Oh my God, that's awful. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Kickstarter. Trying to reach that goal of $1,500. We've got 18 days left. Hopefully we can get there. Take care, guys.